They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
So hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Warriors Hoopcast. I'm your host CMK, and let's get right into it. This is the second podcast in less than 24 hours because of the trade deadline and so much that's happening across the league. So let's get into the Pacers Kings deal for now. So the Pacers get Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson from the Kings, and the Kings are getting in return Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and future second round pick. The 10th seed race is heating up in the West after this trade and the Pelicans one, which we'll get into next. What are the Kings doing? In short, they're trying to make the playoffs or the play in tournament, in short. The center of their offense now changes to Sabonis, a real 10th seed push for the Kings. But Tyrese Halliburton would or should have been the only untouchable guy in the Kings, or at least we all thought so. His numbers have improved a lot from his rookie year. He's currently averaging 13.5 points, 6.3 assists, 3.4 rebounds on 50, 40, 84 shooting splits, which is pretty good for a second year guy. And he's second in the league in off the dribble threes, according to Kirk Goldsberry. He's second in the league. That's amazing. But I guess nobody wanted De'Aaron Fox in this deal after his shooting struggles this season. He is shooting a horrendous 26.4% from three and less than 75% from the free throw line. Woj rightly said the league is stunned. Nobody expected a Halliburton trade, and if he was on the trade block, more teams would have approached the Kings for him. Tyrese was probably the best draft pick since Boogie Cousins for the Kings. Drafting has been a travesty for them for the longest time. So, yeah, there must be laws framed about Sacramento's trade market interests and action because going all in at 20 and 35, why? Plus, the Kings lost two of their snipers in this trade in Heald and Halliburton. They're left with no one that can shoot the ball. And now let's get into the Pacers side of the things. What about the Pacers? Is Miles Turner in for the long run? Wojnarowski says Miles is excited about playing with Tyrese, but that shouldn't mean anything, however. Also, maybe Malcolm Brogdon's days as a Pacer are numbered because Tyrese is a Brogdon type player but younger. Why pay the older version more money? He might be out next season. On Twitter, I have seen a couple rumors floating around that the Bucks have interest in Miles Turner, and personally, I think this makes them an instant mega favorite in the East because they are basically getting a huge upgrade over Brook Lopez because Brook is injured with his back. He's been out for a long time, and Miles Turner can do whatever Brook Lopez does, and he can do it even better. So yeah, the Bucks would be instant favorites to get out of the East if that trade happens. Even though the Pacers are the team in this trade that has not improved at the moment, they would be the winners of this trade, according to me, as I'm very high on Halliburton. And even though Hield has been shooting 36% on his threes, which is about league average of 34, but he's been a career 40% shooter. It is low for him, but I'm high on both of them, so I would call the Pacers the winners of this trade. Now, let's get into the spicier one, the one involving CJ McCollum. The close to a decade-long duo of what some have called, some being Neil Olshey, the best backcourt in the league, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, they've finally been split up. Stephen Clay Thompson would want a word on that. Hey Jennifer, if you're listening to this, CJ cannot be trying anymore. The Blazers never have had much playoff success other than the one time they reached the Western Conference Finals in 2019 just to get swept by the actual best backcourt in the league. This season, after CJ's lung collapse and Dame's abdominal issues, the split up was almost inevitable, a question of both who and when, and both of them have been answered now. Respectfully, this is the end of an era in Rip City. The trade goes as follows. The Pelicans receive CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell. and the Blazers receive Josh Hart, Tomas Satoransky, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Didi Luzada, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, 2022 first round pick, and two future second round picks. Let's look at the Blazers side of things. The Blazers finally realized that they had to get rid of CJ's high paying contract. The CJ McCollum has dropped off compared to his last season in so many categories, like points per game, free throw percentage by a mile, 2 point field goal percentage, and 3 point field goal percentage. He did have troubles with his lung. However, his below average defense, his tunnel vision shooting, and his tendency to over dribble, they were all negatives that are tough to compensate. The Blazers, along with losing their second best scorer in CJ, have damn near lost their identity in this trade. They made the playoffs 8 seasons in a row. CJ was one of the few Blazer faithfuls on the team. Joe Cronin, the interim GM, would have had a tough time informing CJ of this trade. We bid goodbye to the most successful Blazer backcourt maybe since Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter. Blazers have cleared a lot of cap space, but what are they going to do with it? Who can they use it on that can help Lillard? Lavine is a free agent next season. Could they use it on him? I don't think so. And what does this mean for Damian Lillard? He has been pretty loud that he does not want to play for a draft pick. Lillard is all about the competition. He isn't getting any more help through this trade, and he can't be happy with this. I expect to see him on a different team sooner than later. So yeah, it's a fire sale for the Trailblazers. And yeah, I wanted to explain another scenario. Yusuf Nurkic, does he stay or does he leave? Since this is a Warriors podcast, I'd like to link Yusuf Nurkic to the Warriors for a second. If you have seen the Thunder game where we gave up five straight offensive rebounds, ending up in a Lou Dort dunk, which absolutely no one box out, that could be dangerous for us in the playoffs. And here are the rookie sophomore rankings, if I may say, in the according to tradability for the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga is untouchable. James Wiseman is semi-touchable, and Moses Moody. Moses Moody can be used for a trade. Can the Warriors make a package centered around Moses Moody to land Yusuf Nurkic? Because that would be huge. His rebounding ability will help us a lot, especially in the playoffs. So yeah, that's something to think about. Let's look at the Pelicans side of things now. The Pelicans are the clear winners of this trade. They didn't give up a ton, and they got a genuine scorer in return to pair with Brandon Ingram. Maybe this is a message to Zion, building pieces around him. They have many draft picks too, which they can turn into something useful. Now, how good is this Pelicans team? It's solid. At best, a 6th to 7th seed, and definitely a play-in team, even this year. Here's something to think about. Could this mean Zion's return is imminent? Such a push wouldn't make sense if Zion isn't back to spearhead their way into the play-in tournament and possibly the playoffs. Could this be true? They've become an interesting team to watch now. The Spurs Pelicans play-in battle would be fun to watch. Breaking it down further, CJ for the first time would be the lead guard scoring option, sharing the scoring load with Brandon Ingram and Zion when he's back. Ingram is the most impacted player in this trade because he's played the best basketball of his career since December. And the scoring load on him becomes much easier as CJ is operating beside him. The trio of Zion, Ingram, and CJ sounds pretty quirky, and I'm excited to see if it works out. But the loss of Josh Hart is a hit they have to recover from, and it is not easy to recover from. Josh Hart has also been playing the best basketball of his life with good physical perimeter defense. His locker room presence and his vocal leadership is something that will be missed. This, however, limits the Pelicans' finances. Zion is mostly going to sign a long term deal this offseason, so they cannot hunt free agents. This move is one of David Griffin's biggest financial commitments. But with a bunch of draft capital and young pieces on their roster, The Pelicans are betting on CJ being the scoring threat that he was on the Blazers for a long time and hoping he can be that guy. Again, the 10th seed battle in the West is very interesting at the moment, and I cannot wait to see the play. That's the end of this episode, guys. But sneak peek on the next one. There's a game tomorrow, Warriors vs Jazz. I'll be breaking down that game, and I'll also be talking about the rookie sophomore class for the Warriors. That's Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. I'll be breaking down their strengths and weaknesses. So keep your eye out for that podcast. Thank you guys for listening to this one. If you like it, do like it on the Spotify app, share, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Get out of here.